everyone, happy Saturday. Today I'm going to start a little series where I show snippets of making this journal. This is going to be a Jane Eyre journal. I haven't made one in about a year, and I'm gonna start. I've already started it, obviously. I'm going to tell you how I constructed these pages. I used this 49 and Market kit. The name of the kit is Moonlight Garden, and I start with these 12 by 12 pieces of paper, decide on the size I want, and then cut down the pages to the approximate size I need. Each signature, because it's made with 49 and Market paper, which is really heavy, and this is going to be what I consider to be one of my keepsake journals. It only has just two pages. Of course, they're all double-sided, and so that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages to decorate in each signature. There's going to be 3 signatures, and right now the book boards are pressing in my flower press. They're going to look like this. I'm going to use this cover of a Jane Eyre book that I own, that I've scanned the cover. This one is a little bit too big for the pages, so I'm going to save it for another Jane Eyre journal. But the ones that I made to fit better with this size are currently pressing out in my flower press, my Smith & Hawken flower press that I treasure. So what I thought I'd do is I just thought I'd take you along on some of the pages that I'm going to decorate. Now, for this very first signature, I do want to start with this image. Now, I don't want to cover up this image, so the chances are I'm either going to put a lace something along here or a lace something along here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I may end up doing this page last. I have this page to decorate and this page, but I have already done the center of the signature, and what I decided to do is I decided to do 2 corner pockets, and so it will open up, the signature will open up, and I have decorated these using remnants from old book spines and some ruffled up coffee filters, bits of lace, and also sari silk. And so that's that page that is finished off. The rest of it hasn't been done. I'm still contemplating those. For the second signature, I debated whether or not, now this paper actually comes from one of the botanical kits from 49 and Market, because I'm trying not to make it be too dark of a journal, but I liked the blues and the creams on this page, so I did incorporate this one extra page from another kit into it. And I was either going to tear this off, but then I got to thinking I'm going to do something here, and I think that's what I'm going to show you today, how I'm going to embellish this tuck spot. There's also a pocket that I've started to prepare, a tuck pocket right there, and then that's as far as I've gotten on the second signature. Okay, and then on the third signature, I have got a pocket ready to go on here. I think I'm going to add some more, and I have already completed the center of the third signature, and this is it. What I've done is I have taken this really lovely piece of, I don't know what that was, but it's so pretty, and I made it fit onto my pocket, and it's a double pocket, so it will hold a lot of stuff. And so for the third signature, that's as far as I've gotten with it. Now, on this pocket, I did take a piece of leftover lace that I had, just a little section, and I just made a little mini pocket that I'm going to stick that little card into, and I'm still contemplating what I'm going to do at the top of the pocket. But I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want these videos to be so long, I'm going to take the second signature and I'm going to work on this tuck spot right here. So what I want to do is I want to show you something that I've done. I usually cut a separate piece and make gussets at the top and at the side to do this, but I just decided just to fold this one in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my ruffled coffee filter ruffle and I'm going to glue it to this, to the edge of this fold over that I've made. So I'm going to just get out some of my heavy duty glue, which sticks down really good, and I'm going to just apply it, and then I'm going to glue down that ruffle just to start out. We're just going to put that down like that, and I may stitch over it, and I may actually increase the size of the tuck spot by making gussets at the top. And what I think I'll do is I've got lots of leftover pieces from my cutting of these papers. And one thing I want to point out about using these papers, I do love 49 and market papers. I use them in these keepsake journals. What I love about the 12 by 12 papers is all the 12 by 12 papers have an edge at the bottom, and they're really wonderful to use as trim in the journals. Like for instance, you know, you could place something like that there. They really are wonderful bits of trim that can be used in all of these journals, and I have a lot from all kinds of cuts of different papers that I have never used before. But so in fact, for this journal, just so you'll know, this little pocket here, this is one of the bottom trims that came on these papers, and I just love those numbers. So I've now glued that down, but then I think I also want to add some lace to this, and I think I'm gonna sew that down like that. But before I do that, I'm going to put the thing that I really want to highlight is the whole length of this tuck spot, and I'm gonna find my eyelets. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Found them. So what I'm gonna do is I always do an uneven number. I'm gonna take 5 of them, and then I'm going to take my crocodile and I'm going to punch 5 holes. So I'm gonna do 1, I'm gonna go to the bottom and do 1 and try to do it as evenly as I can. Do that one. Then I'm gonna do 1 in the middle, like that. And then 1 in the middle of the bottom and the middle, and this one right here. Okay, so I've got my 5 holes all punched, and then I'm gonna put my eyelets in, and I'm going to just smush them down. Okay, so I've got the 5 eyelets in there like that. And now I'm going to take some ribbon, and I think I'm going to use brown ribbon, because for some reason I'm always associating brown with Jane Eyre. I don't know why. I just think it's, you know, she was a governess. She probably didn't wear a lot of colorful clothing. And I like this kit because it has a lot of bird imagery in it and outdoor imagery. And of course, Jane Eyre was a sketcher. She would, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my really giant needle, because it makes it easier to thread through these eyelets. Let's see if I can get it to go through there. Okay, and then I'm just going to sew back and forth through the eyelets. This is just a decorative thing. It doesn't really have any purpose except that it's decorative, and I just think it's pretty and adds a nice touch on a tuck spot. And then you go back through, go back up through the one above it, this, go back up through all of them, there. So today I spent the morning making my granddaughter's birthday cake. I baked it and I've gotten it all ready for, and then I'm going to stop talking for a second and show you. So I take the top one out, I run the one I've been working with through, and then I take the starting part of the ribbon and the ending part of the ribbon, and I tie a bow at the top like that. There we go. And then I just cut it off, and that makes a really pretty tuck spot. Now the other thing I've been known to do is I've been known to sew buttons, which I may do on this one, on top of the ribbon going down, and then I do need to secure it right here. So I'm going to run over to my sewing machine, and I think I'm going to sew this. All right, I stitched it down all the way around the edge, which gave it a sort of a really nice finished look, and it doesn't create that problem you have when you glue down edges without a gusset in it. It doesn't spread like down to here and prevent things from being able to be placed in there. So for instance, there's plenty of room to tuck something in there like that. I do think I want to add some lace to this edge right here, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. I may not add lace. I may actually do the button thing. I may add little buttons, or I'll probably add a dangle here with a bulb pin. That's probably what I'll end up doing. So for this pocket, I mean, it looks pretty done, but I think I want to add some more to it. I'm trying to decide if I want to put a divot there or if I want to add lace up behind here. I think that is what I want to do. I think I want to put some lace there. That's pretty. In fact, I think I know that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to grab Fabri-Tac for this so that I don't sew over. I don't want to sew over these letters. I love these letters. So I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac down and attach the lace that way. But I've got to make sure I see which side is the right side up. Let's see. I think that's the right side up. So I'm going to just stick it down like that. There we go. And that's pretty. I love this lace. This is lace that I got, this huge box of lace. And I bought it, and the woman who I bought it from said that she had found it in an old barn. This was in Wisconsin. and it was just this huge amount of really, really dirty lace. I mean, it was old and dirty, and I washed all of it, and I've been ironing it as I go. I mean, I don't even have all of it ironed out yet because there's so much of it. But I've been using it for years, but I'll be sad when I use it all up. It'll take me a while to use it all up. I think I've got a few more years left. So that'll be pretty right there, like that. I think that is what. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add like a brad or something. I don't know. No, I can't find my brads. I couldn't find my eyelets, and now I can't. Oh, there my brads are right in front of me. Okay, so I'm wondering if I couldn't add a couple of brads just along the edge down here. I'm trying to decide if I want that. I don't know, I think that might be kind of nice. So I'm going to poke a few holes and just add these brads right here. And just see how it looks. Yeah, it just adds an extra element of interest. They really have no purpose other than they're decorative and they're pretty. They add interest to my pocket. And then we'll put this pocket on too. And then we'll go and check and see how the cover is coming along. And like I said in another video, I believe in doing things, I don't know, symmetrically. I love odd numbers. I think odd numbers, or if you're doing 2 pages, to make them sort of mirror each other. There, put in 3. Let's see how that came out. That's nice. This one is a little too far. I do this too. I change up where I put the brads. So I'm gonna just close that hole a little bit. I'm gonna put it more right there. There we go. And stick it in there. There, that looks more even. There we go. Oh yeah, that's better. And now, of course, this one looks too high up. I tell you what, I should have marked them with a pencil, shouldn't I? I should have marked them with a pencil. There we go. If you just make the hole a little bit bigger, it shifts it down a little. Then you can move it around. And if you're concerned about it moving around too much, you can, oh there, that's better. You can, you could put a piece of washi tape behind it, or just tape. I've got tape back here. You can just take a piece of tape and put it over so that they stay in place. There we go. Now this pocket goes here on this page. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to glue that down because I don't want to stitch over my pretty center pocket. So I am going to glue that down like that. And then before I start gluing, I'm going to get out all of my clamps because I can tell with this really thick cardstock, clamping is really essential to get a nice tight, to make it look nice and tight to the page. It's important to clamp it down. So we'll just put that on there like that, and we'll start clamping it all the way around. And that way it will stay nice and tight. And then we can sop up the extra glue with this paper towel. There we go. There. There's some extra glue there. I'm going to take this one up and do the extra glue there. There we go. All the way around the edge. Clamp it down. And squeeze out the extra glue. There we go. And now I'm going to run and I'm going to check. I'm going to check how the cover is coming along in the Smith & Hawken flower press and see if it's pressed enough for me to cut it out and show you what I want to do with that. So I'll be right back. All right, so the cover is nice and flat right now, and it fits nicely on this. I mean, some of it might stick out a little bit when it's all made, but it does cover it. Now what I like to do when I scan book covers like this, I like to highlight certain parts of the cover just to bring them out. And in this case, with this Jane Eyre, I like to take this gold triangle and I'm just going to cut it out, and then I'm going to mount it on some cardstock just to give it, make it really substantial. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some cardstock and I'm going to glue it onto there and just give it an extra layer. It's already printed on cardstock, but I like this to be really sturdy, just and really have a feel like, you know, these old books like this one, for instance, is kind of embossed. It has an embossed feel to it, but I can't replicate the embossing that is on the cover, but I can try to highlight certain parts of the book, the book cover, to make it, oh, I cut it 2 pieces there. I can highlight certain parts of the book cover to make it special and not look so scanned. So I'm going to take that, and then I think at some point I'm gonna highlight some of this with gold paint, but I think I'll wait for that until after I've got it mounted onto here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, of course, just give it a nice touch of distress ink, like that. And then I'm going to take, once again, some of my little brads, and I'm going to place them at either edge right there. I'm just gonna use the point as my guide and just make a hole right there, like that. And then I'm going to put the brad in, see how it works. There we go. Yeah. See, that looks nice. Just adds, you know, it just gives it a real sense of being an actual book cover. And then I'm gonna do this other one too. Hopefully I've got it in the right place, because I do everything by eye. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. And then what I'll do is I will mount it on here like this. And since the brads give it a little lift, I'm gonna add some foam tape to it as well, just to give it a lift. Put some there, and I'm gonna put some there, and I'm gonna put some in the middle. So that's how I'm gonna attach it to the cover of the book. Take those. Okay, so I gotta stand up to do this. There we go. You can see, and the foam tape doesn't really show. That gives it a really nice little lift. Now, the other thing I like to do on this book cover is this section down here. I like to also highlight this section. So I'm going to just cut it off at these lines right here and right here. And I'm going to take it there. And then what I need to do is I need to match it up. It's a little, I've got to make it's a little bit longer than I need it to be. Like that. I'm going to cut off a little bit of bottom. I'm going to go over to my my cutting board just so I get it nice and thick. Okay, I think I've got it just about right. Then I'm going to take my corner angler because that's perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to take my cardstock again, and I'm going to apply it to some cardstock. Just to once again give it some heft, and put it up there like that. There we go. This is going to be the cover. Okay. There we go. Cut that around that corner. And once again, give it a little bit of some inking. And then take these holes and punch them so that I can put 4 brads in there. And I think I'm going to take little tiny brads for that. Are those little tiny? Those are tiny, yeah. And I think I'll take some black ones. I've got to use up these black brads, right? I've got so many black ones. So I am going to use black. There we go. And I'm going to put those in there like this. Get the holes opened up all the way. There we go. Okay. So let's put these in. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to edge my edge of my cover all with gold when I get it all done. Yeah, I like that black one. That looks nice. Put all 4 little black ones in. then we'll do the same thing. We'll just add some foam tape and attach it to there. And then I'll decide, I don't think I'm going to do any other sections, just those two. And yeah, I'm going to add the foam tape. Put some right there. Some right there. Right there. And I think I need a little right there. There we go. And just stick it on there. There we go. Gotta stand up again. Can't do this sitting down. I mostly stand up when I make my journals. I don't do a lot of sitting. So you can see that makes a really pretty, it really adds dimension to the cover and makes it, once we get, if we're gonna cover up, it'll be like that. And then I can't decide what spine I want yet, but we'll get to that. So that's part one of starting a Jane Eyre journal. And we're gonna sort of plot away and work along at this. I'll videos various parts of it, and I'll show you various results of the sections that I have made, and until it's all finished. And we'll do it start to finish. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you, and thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and I hope everyone has a really happy weekend. I love the weekends so much. That's when I get to play in my studio. So take care, everyone. Bye.